Nowadays, we have Hungarian people who are asking me to do samskars for their children. Could you please come and do a Havan in my house? Yoga has become super big in Hungary. I knew Vedic mantras before I knew Hungarian children's riddles. My grandmother had 700 Bhagavad Gitas in her basement. We are hiding it from the secret police. We just issued a search warrant for your grandmother's basement. You have to go there and get those books out there, otherwise everything's going to be confiscated.
I am super amazed.
And now Western science says if you walk for 10 minutes within 90 minutes of your meal, 35% of the glucose spike will go down. This is what Ayurveda said all along for 7,000 years. And now we figured this out in 2024. It's so amazing we know this. Okay.
This is India, a story in the making. And I'm your host, Lavina Tandon.
Harihi Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahana Vunaktu Sahavir Yankaravavahai Tejasvinavati Tamastuma Vidvishavahai Om Shantish Shantihi.
This is not an Indian person. We are sitting in Budapest, and this is Adam Baktai.
Nice to be here with
Hungarian. You put me to shame, Adam.
That wasn't my intention. That wasn't my intention.
I thought that was your intention. He is an astrologer, a Vastu Shastri.
Yeah.
He's written books, Ayurveda.
Yeah.
He practices Ayurveda. And Panditji. I've got a Hungarian Panditji in the house. Yo! Hello and welcome to India, a story in the making.
Nice to be here. Thank you.
Unbelievable.
Thank you for the invitation.
So and I am told you even did Pran Pratishtha in Krishna Valley.
Yes, I did that in 1996. Yeah.
So do people call you here for weddings and you get people wedding? Oh.
I do weddings. And nowadays we have Hungarian people who are asking me to do samskars for their children. Like pregnant mothers, expecting mothers coming, could you do Simantanayanam? And I'm like, how do you know Simantanayanam? Samskar exists, So sometimes I do like this. Yeah. Tons of Vastu Puja, like moving into a new house and everything. Yes, it's coming up.
Not Hungarian Indian couple, but Hungarian
couples, yeah. Sometimes I have, of course, one of the members of the couples is of Indian origin, and they really appreciate the culture, and they find me somehow or another. But sometimes we have true blue Hungarians, they're not even vegetarian, but they have that sort of like respect and love for Vedic culture that, could you please come and do a Havan in my house? Or could you please, do this ceremony for my kids? Oh, my kids are starting school. Could we do a Vidyaramba for them just before they go to grade 1? So it's like that.
But how come they know about all this?
You see, yoga has become super big in Hungary. And of course with yoga, since all Vedic traditions are all connected to each other. So with yoga, sort of like Vedic astrology seeped in, Ayurveda seeped in, tons of wonderful Indian restaurants. So all this, the Indian cuisine is coming into Hungary. So people are just broadening their outlook on life, and they just, pull in all the nice things that the Vedic culture has to offer. So they're like super amazed by it.
My God. Everyone is super amazed, I'm sure. Yeah. I am super amazed at the flow, at the way which you pronounced and just carried on. Of course, you are a Panditji. Adam Panditji. But tell me your story. I know that you, at 1.5 years of age, you thought that you are a Hindu in a Hungarian skin. Not beyond. Tell me your story.
Well, the thing was that my parents had a separation. They divorced. And then somehow or another in my family, my great-grandmother was the person who always took everybody in. She was like the shelter of the family, like the pet shelter sort of thing. So my family figured out, okay, we don't want to go send Adam to nursery. Nobody has ever gone to nursery from my family. So until the age of 3, everybody's at home. And then from 3, of course, they have to go to kindergarten. But they said, we don't want to send Adam off to nursery. Let's do it within the family. So I was sent to my great-grandmother, and I was living there actually. And my uncle also moved in with my with my great-grandmother, because my uncle, he met Hare Krishna devotees in 1976 in Budapest.
Uncle means tell me the relationship in there.
My mother's cousin.
Okay.
But we have such a close knitted family situation that
Yes.
they grew up like brothers and sisters.
Yes.
It wasn't like,
Yes.
oh, we're not
Your
cousins.
Mamaji.
We're like, Mamaji. And basically, my Mamaji, in 78, he sold everything he owed, his books, his records, his record player. He even sold the wood floor panels from the floor. He saved up money and he went to India for 2 weeks. And he took bath in the Ganga at Varanasi. He went to Vrindavan. He went to Mathura.
Oh.
He went to sacred places. He spoke to yogis. He was hanging out with devotees there. He was so convinced that this is it. He's still a devotee. He's just such an amazing person. So as soon as he came home, he was talking about it and he was telling everyone, oh, this is the way. You should be involved in this, that. So he convinced me, He was like, he was teaching me little mantras. Of course, the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra.
And you were 1.5 at the time.
I was 1.5. I knew Vedic mantras before I knew Hungarian children's riddles. But that's my Mamaji's, grace. That's his mercy, So it was him. And then he started, telling me all about it. Then once I started reading, we had some old Hungarian publications. We had Katam Sarit Sagara, a Vedic thing, translated into Hungarian back in the 50s. So I had like nice Indian storybooks to read. And of course, at that time, I would sometimes go through the Bhagavad Gita, but I didn't understand anything of it. But we had the Bhagavad Gita. My family was very instrumental in printing out the Bhagavad Gita. We donated tons of money because the first Hungarian Bhagavad Gita was printed in Belgium because during the communist government, you couldn't print a Bhagavad Gita in Hungarian. It was impossible to do it here. So we did it in Belgium, and then it was brought here into Hungary. So we had all these, a few books, like my Mamaji, he got us Sita Swayamvara, that movie from 1976, that amazing movie? We had that on VHS tape.
Ah.
We watched that film every single week, at least 3 times.
Really? So when you say we, you, Mamaji, your mother and father as well? I mean,
my father wasn't that involved, but because the other side of the
your
family.
Grandparents, sorry.
But my great-grandmother, she was super into it.
Oh.
My grandmother and my grandmother's sister, they were super into it.
Really?
We started chanting japa together and doing all these little Vedic meditations with my sister together. After some time, she was not so interested anymore. But yeah, several people in my family are super interested.
Wow.
Like there's a songbook, Gaudiya Vaishnava songs. We couldn't photocopy books like that in Hungary. You will be reported to the secret police straight away. We have 7 copies that actually my grandmother copied by hand, so other devotees can also have it. Whole Vaishnava songbooks copied by hand. We have 7 copies.
So she knew how to. Actually, she did it in Hungarian.
No, she was doing it in Hungarian,
Yes.
and of course it was it wasn't with Devanagari letters. It was with English letters. But she had the time, and she put in the effort to copy Vaishnava songs for others in 7 different copies.
My God. All of you, I mean, we have to believe in the soul theory. All of you were born in.
Definitely, we have some previous lives in
Indian
India.
soul.
Definitely.
A Hindu soul in a Hungarian body.
And I don't know if this is like a podcast theme, because I don't know if it's not sensitive, but like my grandmother had 700 Bhagavad Gitas in her basement. We are hiding it from the secret police. And she had a worker come and do some, electrical work there. And he reported my grandmom. And my grandfather's friend, who was a police officer, just called us. Listen, guys, you're going to have we just issued a search warrant for your grandmother's basement. You have to go there and get those books out there. Otherwise, everything's going to be confiscated. So me and my uncle, we went straight to my grandmother's house. We unpacked all the books. And it was like in the movies. We slammed the booth. We just put the last Bhagavad Gita in that thing. We slammed the booth, and just the police car just turned up. But the only parking space available was right front of our car. But at that time, we had a Austrian license plate car, because the Vienna Hare Krishna temple gave us a car to use to help the mission here. And my uncle had the nerve, when the guys just checked out the license plate, the police officers, my uncle greeted them in German. We don't speak German, but he just said, Grüß Gott, like the Germans do, like, God bless you. And then the guys just went and just pulled my grandmom's place apart.
Oh my God.
So we had things like this as well. Yeah, but this was in the 80s, like mid 80s. It was still pretty hardcore.
Incredible. So your family was quite into it, but the country was communist at the time.
Yeah, the country was communist. My uncle was trying to do his best in letting other people know about Vedic culture. Like we used to have like slideshows on India, and we had a public place rented, guests and everything. We'll serve out prashad and everything, and we would know who will be the secret police who will show up to check on us. And when they will go away, we'll change into dhotis. We'll put on tilak. We didn't have Ganga tilak. We used watercolor from children's painting kits. It was yellow. It looked okay. We chanted the mantras, Gangecha, Yamunacha, well, like that. But it was just regular, stuff that you get for school kids, just watercolor.
But you had to have that.
But we
and
had
then
to
chant.
and then chant. And then some people will be outside and then just said, okay, the guys are coming back, the police guys. Then we just go backstage, put our European clothes back on, wipe off tilak, and keep doing the slideshow. And then they will go away, then they will again change it. And the people just enjoyed it so much because they will have bhajan and kirtan when those guys are gone. They will bring out the instruments, kartals and mridangas and everything. And people just enjoyed it because they also felt it was like a big thing going against the government. They had enough and everything. But at the same time, it was so nicely because we are not making fun of them. We just want to get our point across. So people were super appreciative.
Really? But those people could have reported you. I mean, how would you get a bunch of people who were all invested in the thought?
It was 86 or 87.
Yeah, right.
My uncle said, Adam, let's go outside. New Year's Eve, let's chant Hare Krishna because it's New Year. Nobody's going to bother us. Everybody's on holidays. So we went outside to a big public square with 2 mridangas. We started chanting Hare Krishna. And so that people don't really get disturbed or they can follow the tune. We did the tune from Hair, the movie. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, the same tune. Within 5 minutes, there was about 600 people jumping up and down, screaming on the top of their lungs, Hare Krishna. Within 3 minutes, the police showed up. Me and my uncle, we took off, and we lived nearby there. We put the mridangas back so we don't get confiscated. Then we went back around to see if anything is still happening. People were still screaming Hare Krishna without anybody leading the kirtan because they just saw, most of them were drunk. This was like midnight, 1st of January. And the people are trying to stop the people, the police officers, so people got more excited about doing it. And without anybody leading the kirtan went on for another 20 minutes.
Wow, so you were the naughty one. Policeman.
But it's okay to talk about stories like this? Yeah, okay,
yes,
all right.
Yes.
The way you pronounce Paul in Hungarian is Pál. So we used to go to convenience stores and tell we have lost our friend and he's not fully aware of the whole situation. So could you please announce that Gopal, like Krishna, Gopal is being looked after and Gopal should show up to the information booth. And we're so happy about ourselves. Oh, all these people heard Gopal's name. We're like super happy. and those communist ladies, they would just go, okay, we are looking for Mr. Gopal. So we did tons of these things. It's just insane. Like this was the 80s, no devotees. So we had to do everything ourselves.
You did the Krishna way.
Yeah. The way how we met new people, my mother was a hairdresser. She had a beautiful picture of Krishna on her mirror. And when people started asking questions about Lord Krishna, then she would refer them to my uncle. That's how preaching was actually, that's how it started. We were just pulling people through my mom's hairdressing practice.
All those police, if they are listening to you, Adam, they'll be coming after you.
I think these things are not punishable anymore. At least I hope so.
It's done and gone. Oh my God, this is most astonishing stories, I have to say. So tell me, how old was Adam, the one on 1st of January, 86?
Well, I was either 10 or 11.
Little boy.
Yeah.
Is this
like
actually little Krishna?
Yeah. I was always taken away for every naughtiness because if anybody showed up, police, they said, well, the kid's not feeling so well, we are taking him to the doctor. That was the story always. So I was like the fallback guy. I was like the cushion guy. I was always the story. I was the background story. But it was nice. Yeah.
Oh, so you were indoctrinated into complete...
Definitely.
No, you were just taken into this
But
whole
you see the
thing.
way how my uncle did it all for us. It was just so nice and so wonderful. And we had a little discussion beforehand, of course, before we sat here. And you asked me why I'm a Hindu. And I told you because of the lifestyle. So basically, it was just love and kindness and support and trying to help out people by, teaching them about, nice things, sacred things, things like mantras where they can improve their lives as well. So basically, the whole thing was like that. My uncle indoctrinated us with how to be nice. So he wasn't indoctrinated us how to be like a fanatic. He was just how to be a nice devotee, how to be a nice Vaishnav. That was his indoctrination. And for that, I'm eternally indebted to him. Yeah. So if
You're
Lavanga,
a happier person because of that?
yes,
So
definitely.
this time that you were growing in, the 80s,
Yeah.
and so there was no religion. There's not supposed to be practiced here?
No, I wasn't baptized ever. My sister wasn't baptized ever. My brother, yes. I don't know what happened to the family in between those few years. But yeah, it wasn't a thing. And even though my great-grandmother and my mother and my grandmother, they will follow some sort of Christianity. Like my great-grandmother will fast every Friday. She will never eat anything every Friday. And my grandmother used to go, and there is one called Saint Anthony, the patron saint for children. She was donating to the deity regularly because she was so happy that she had 2 kids. She's got grandkids. So she always showed her gratitude. So even in my family, we had some practice of Christianity. My father used to take us for midnight mass on Christmas Eve every single year. But we just go for the good vibe, sort of thing, Or like when I was living in Greece, I used to go as a Vaishnav to my Greek friends, different festivities because it was so nice, And of course, I didn't understand what was happening because I don't understand Christian liturgy. But I was very appreciative of that too because it was just so nice. I don't know their method, but it seemed nice. They respect the same Lord as I am. They just do it their way because they're Greeks, or
Yes.
they're Hungarians. So to us, it was all good,
Oh, great.
But in our family, it wasn't like we were not super religious, by far.
In the religion that you were born in.
Yeah.
And then you took on to Hinduism, as they say.
Yeah, but I was 1.5 years old, so I don't have memories of not being a Hindu because I don't have memories before I was 1.5 years old. So I don't have memories that I'm not practicing some devotional activity.
1.5 years old, Hindu. Born in a Christian household. How does that matter? Fabulous. Absolutely fabulous. And then you actually took it to another level.
Well,
At 15.
My uncle was like really like, oh, you guys should go to Gurukulam because studying in India and studying Vedic culture, I mean, that's the best place to go. So my cousin, his son, was a definite go because, his father is saying you should go, he will go. But my family was freaking out initially because the first time he brought up this point, I was 11. And I said, okay, I'll go. And my parents freaked out. It's like, no, that's impossible. So it took me 3 years of begging and cajoling and offering all sorts of,
Promises.
I'll study really hard and everything. Nothing worked. So I ended up blackmailing them. I told my parents, listen, if you don't let me go, I'll just wait another 4 years. I'm going to be 18. I'll leave. But then I will never come back. I will never see you guys again.
Wow.
So they freaked out and they said, okay, you can go for a year. But you know how things happen in India, in our motherland, things happen, So that 1 year turned into 10. So I went for 1 year when I was 15. I just turned 15. And you know how Krishna is so wonderful in his, super nice workings. Just when I went to the Gurukul, they had a new headmaster installed, Bhakti Charuswami, a wonderful Vaishnav saint, a wonderful person. And he's Bengali and he knows me. So we wrote a letter to the school. Would you take on Adam, at that time was called Prahlad, would you take Prahlad on and Raghunath, my uncle's son, because that's his given name, was a Hindu name. And he said, oh, I know these guys. Yeah, they can come. So basically, the way we got into the school, because they just had a new headmaster who knew us in person.
That's also
so Krishna did his
destiny.
things,
Yeah, he did his thing. And Prahlad happened to be my father's first name.
That's so nice. Okay.
Yes. His eldest brother was Shiv.
Okay.
Then the brother after him was Vishnu. And he was called Prahlad. So he was very upset that my elder brother is Shiv, then it's Vishnu, and why me dude is just a Prahlad and I'm devotee? Why am I not one of the gods? So at the age of 10, he went and changed his name from Prahlad to Brahma.
Okay. But if you read Garga Samhita, Garga Muni says that Prahlad was an incarnation of Brahma. So your grandparents really knew something, they were in tune with reality. Okay.
Well, my father went and changed it to Brahma.
But that's the same.
All my life I would say, Papa, why am I going to... This is so bad when anyone asks me, Brahma Gopal Tandon. So I used to say BG Tandon. Okay. But now,
That's funny. Yeah, that's funny.
It's really funny. And he was an atheist, but he knew all about religion.
Okay.
So anyway.
You see, Vedic culture steeps into such levels of Indian community levels. Nobody can be an atheist in India. That's impossible.
That's in some way or the other, you're just doing something.
That's like eating bad food in India. That's not possible. like every region has such good cuisine. It's like, that's not possible.
It's not possible. So, what studies were you doing when you ended up at 15? You left, you did A-levels, so what is it, equivalent?
At that time, it was just primary school. Nothing.
You just did primary school.
So I did high school, I did in India.
So then, you did high school in the Gurukul.
Yeah.
And where was this Gurukul?
Gurukul is in Mayapur in Bengal, just north of Calcutta.
So don't tell me you speak Bangla as well.
I speak Bengali a little bit, but I'm forgetting.
Acha. Okay.
আমি অনেক বাচ্চার ওখানে জানিনি আমি ভুলে গেছি বাংলা কি করব
ভালো করতে বলতে পারো তো তুমি
Yeah, but as we start speaking it comes back, but I haven't been speaking in Bengali in eons, in 10 years, in 20 years,
So Mayapur.
Yes, Mayapur. So I went there, and of course as all kids below 18 we were doing our academic studies. But our school was a little more Catholic than the Pope. We were more hardcore. We were getting up at 2:30 in the morning.
Wow.
So we did most of our japa before Mangalarti. So we had tons of time to study. So apart from, of course, doing my geography studies, my math studies, my English literature studies, my Bengali literature studies, history and all that, we had plenty of time to study Vedic subjects as well. So when we woke up in the morning, we did, of course, quick taking a bath. Then we did some japa. Then we did Mangalarti. Then we had a havan every single morning because our school started up a new tradition in Mayapur. Since 1984, there is a yagya, there's a havan every single morning in Mayapur. Since 1984.
Wow.
That's like huge. Yeah, it's over 40 years now. And then after we'll come back, we'll do some seva because dam seva is important. We did some sweeping, gathering the leaves, cleaning out the gardens and everything. Tiny kids had a little breakfast at that time because they couldn't go through, from 2:30 till 9 o'clock. That's impossible for kids to do. So the little something, some sweets and some milk sweets and everything and some fruits. And then the first class we had was always a spiritual class because they said we should start our studies by studying something spiritual. So we had our academic classes after breakfast, after 10 o'clock. But before that, we only had spiritual things. And we had all our academics until lunch. And after lunch, we had again mantra class or mridanga class or spiritual classes. Evening yagya we also did. And then the last class for kids was some story class, maybe from Srimad Bhagavatam or maybe from Ramayana, from Mahabharata, something that it's nice to chill out and go to sleep with that in your head. And us grown-ups, like I was there at the age of 15, so I looked the same size. So it's like I was shoved in with the older kids straight away. Then with a class that again dealt in spirituality. And then we will crash out. The kids will go to sleep at 7. We'll go to sleep at 8 because we were getting up at 2:30. So we needed a lot of quality time of sleep before midnight. So like that.
You didn't miss your parents?
I miss my parents, but you see, Gurukul was very traditional. We didn't have electricity. But we installed a phone in the school so parents can call their kids. Because we could never get the kids to write letters. It sounded like somebody dictated the letter because you know how kids write letters. Dear mom, dear dad, everything is okay here. Nothing really happens to us. Bye. So we had to install a phone so the kids and the parents could speak to each other. So we had an agreement with my mom that the first Monday of every month she will call. So I spoke to her once a month, but of course, It didn't happen every year, every month, because, in the wet season, in rainy season, lines get wet, you don't get connection. In the
So you
summer,
had no
things
contact?
melt, and then you don't get connection. From October till March, it was smooth. It was happening every month. But from March till October,
So in the 10 years that you were in the Gurukul,
Yeah.
did you go and meet your parents again?
I met them 4 times. I came back to Hungary 4 times. Yeah.
They didn't stop you because they only sent you for 1 year?
They sent me for 1 year. Then I started telling them some lies about how our school term is not over. It's not like in Hungary. It wasn't over. So it was over. So I only went back after 1 year and 3 months. And they sent me a one-way ticket from Calcutta to Budapest by KLM, the Dutch Airlines. I went into the office in Calcutta to collect my ticket. And I didn't collect it. I said, oh, there's a mistake. I have a return ticket. I'm not having a one-way ticket. So I went back to my mom's. So I went back to Mayapur, called my mom, listen, if you guys don't buy me a return ticket, I'm not getting on the flight. So they resent me a ticket with a return option.
How did you finally return after 10 years, Adam? What made you come back?
Well, I think we have built up my sort of like thing pretty well, but now I'm going to destroy it all. I met up with a Hungarian girl.
Oh, there you are. It's always a menka.
It's always a lady. So I met with a Hungarian girl, and then she was studying archaeology and anthropology at that time, and he wanted to move back to Calcutta because then she could maintain her anthropological studies, but she didn't want to let go of the archaeology. And in Calcutta, we could only do 1 instead of 2 because she did 2 MAs at the same time. She's a smart kid, a smart girl. So she did that, So I didn't want to move back. This is how it turned out to be. So I just came home to see her in the summer, and then somehow I got entangled, and I just...
Yeah. Your parents just had to wait out to find a girl.
Yeah.
For a girl to find you.
What was super nasty about the whole story is that my mom and her mom were working on this for years. I have later on I have learned that in 1996 my first wife had a gift from my mom for Christmas. The gift was a picture of me. Which is like,
Your story
it's so
gets
corny.
funnier though at
It's
that
so
moment.
corny. Yeah. No, 97, sorry. Because I was in South Africa, and because she was into archaeology, anthropology, I'm standing in a traditional village setting in South Africa with like super colorful things. And that's why the picture was gifted. Because, it looks so cultural. But I was there on the picture. Yeah.
The designs that mother can, the lens that mothers can
Moms can do crazy stuff, yeah.
Okay, just want to finish your Gurukul and then pick up those books that you have. So the Gurukul studies, you said 10 years. So in 10 years, what degree did you get, and what are the...
Well, the first few years I had to do academics. I didn't want to do. The Gurukul forced me to finish my academic studies, I remember sitting in math class thinking, dude, this can't be true. I could be in a mantra class. I could be studying Bhagavad Gita. And I'm sitting in a math class. Oh, man, I hated it. I'm sorry to say. I was a good student. There's no problem with it. But I just didn't like it. So once that was out of the way, basically we could do anything we wanted to learn. But we had to learn puja and yagya because this was a school for priests, for Brahmins. So you don't get out of the school and not know puja and yagya. And a wedding is 4 days. Pram Pratishtha for deities is a 3-day ceremony. So we had to learn tons of mantras, tons of ceremonies and everything. So you had to study ceremonies and you had to study philosophy. So I have a Bhakti Shastri degree. I have a Shastri degree in Vedic philosophy, which is basically the bare minimum you had to study. But apart from that, you could do also vocational things. Mm-hmm. So studying Vedic astrology, we had a wonderful teacher from Spain teaching us Vedic astrology.
Wow.
And for the 2.5 years that I was studying with him, we had 5 classes a week, 2.5 hours a day. So my basic astrological studies was insanely good because the teacher was so caring And he was really into, okay, do you understand this one? If you didn't understand, he will bring up other examples. He will look up for things. Oh, this is somehow differently explained. Brihad Jataka, let me get this. And then Varahamihira said that. Then, Parashara Muni said that. So we were so well trained. I mean, he's such an amazing, he's gone.
So that's where you studied your Vastu, your astrology, your Ayurveda.
Yeah. Because vocational programs we could take, and if we had those teachers, we could take advantage of it.
So with those degrees, in the real world, what could you do?
You see, I'm self-employed, so I don't really have to, amend with the real world, so to say, because I have my own world, and if they want to join in, they'll have to join in through my my ways. Like I go out to big companies to do talk on Ayurveda. Like I just did Heineken, the beer company, because they had.
They definitely need Ayurveda.
And it was a wonderful thing. It was a wonderful talk. Or like I was teaching, HVG is the biggest political magazine in the country. I taught them yoga for 9 years. 3 days a week. And the only reason we stopped because I moved to Dubai back then. So basically, I was always contacted by people, be it big corporations or be it locals, because of their interest in Vedic stuff.
And all non-Indian people.
People and companies, yeah. Because you see, I moved back here in 2001. Back then, we didn't have an Indian community. Now it's a bigger one, but I'm terrible at self-marketing myself. I can't sell myself. I just I have a website. You don't have
to. You'll automatically sell.
I have a website that has 1,500 articles on Vedic culture, all written by me.
I love the picture on your website. Okay. It's so cool. It's so cool.
And I don't know what to do with that. I mean, some people are saying, "You stupid! Why is there 1,500 articles there? Start selling them. Everybody can read 5 for free, and then start getting. I can't do that. That's not me."
Yeah, well, Krishna will find a way to do that if he has to. That's your way. Actually, I want to go to Ayurveda, but I just want to quickly say, what is the difference between a Gurukul and a Western kind of education?
You see, Gurukul it's based on spirituality, so it's a very deep studies, and it's also a lifestyle school because you see, when you go to a regular academic school, you get to see your teachers and you are inspired by your teachers, but you're not living with them. They don't correct you in your day-to-day things and your day-to-day life. They can actually train you in their field, in their subject, and it's all good. But we live together with our masters and with our teachers. We lived in the same ashram. And it was very inspiring that they were same in their austerity as us. They didn't have special treatment because they were the teachers. No. They did the same kana. They did the same services. They did the sweeping. They did clean toilets, just like us. So that was very inspiring. Plus, they were there for us in our day-to-day things. I remember some crazy deep discussions with my ashram teachers. One of them was from India, the other one was from Italy, this, that. And basically, they made me into a grown man. So it's like, I really love my dad, but he wasn't as influential as some of my teachers.
Well, you never stayed with him.
Yeah, okay, that's that. So it's amazing that like the lifestyle they taught us, it's amazing.
What is it that in our present education we could get from the Gurukul? What we should do?
You see, the way... well, you're definitely trained in simplicity. And like my son is 15 now, and I'm just telling him, when you are done with your basic studies at the age of 18, I think maybe you should go for a whole year, either to an NGO thing or go to like a hospice situation where you'll see people dying and everything, because you'll have a different understanding on life empathy. If you would do that.
Teaching compassion and empathy.
Gurukul does that. Because we have drawn-in classes, like pulled-together classes. We didn't have that many teachers. So sometimes you'll have like 3-4 classes in one classroom. So the tiny ones actually learn to respect the older kids, and the older kids learn that they have to be helpful towards the younger kids. So actual Gurukul life was training us for life itself. Because if you see academic studies, we are with same age kids, everybody has the same requirements. That's not life. In life, everybody has to do different requirements. You have to deal with older, with younger, with all sorts of people. So Gurukul life actually trains you for life. So some aspects of Gurukul teaching should definitely be implemented into Vedic, into Western Western school system. Definitely.
Definitely.
I'm all good for it, yeah. And I'll help out if you guys want. I'll help out with the
He's here,
Hungarian
Adam
school
Baktai.
community.
Find him on the internet. You have a cool picture there of him. That's him. Yo. Okay. Your book. Give me your book.
Okay.
So you have written these books on Ayurveda.
No, I'm sorry. Yeah. You see, the thing is that since I have no ability to market myself, these are the books that I self-published.
Right.
The Ayurveda book and the Vedic numerology book, I don't have it with me because I just realized I had two at home, but some friends took it away. These things I started during, thank you very much. But these are in Hungarian, so I don't know.
Yes, fine. It's Bhagavad Gita.
Bhagavad Gita, that's the volume 2. And the other one is 18 Upanishads translated from Sanskrit to Hungarian.
Oh.
Because the Mukhya Upanishad, the big Upanishads, we have most of them translated into Hungarian. But I have a tons of Sannyas Upanishads, Vaishnava Upanishads, Shaiva Upanishads, Shakti Upanishads, because those things are minor Upanishads and they're not really translated into Hungarian. So I started doing that. And the last 5 years, I translated 42 Upanishads into Hungarian from the 108 main Upanishads.
Oh.
So I'm not halfway through because I started the short ones, of course.
So you know to read, write Sanskrit?
Yeah, we learned Sanskrit in the Gurukul, but I was too old when I joined the school. I was 15, so I don't know Sanskrit that well. So I use tons of dictionary to do this. Plus, there is a wonderful half Hungarian, half Serbian gentleman who is a Sanskrit editor. So all my works are edited by a professional. I wouldn't dare doing anything on my own.
And you've
but
read
I do that.
all of this whole Upanishad, Puran.
Yes. I mean, we have plenty of time to study. You're getting up at 2:30 in the morning.
2:30 in the morning. Do you still get up at 2:30 in the morning? That's one habit you haven't kept.
Now I'm ashamed. You said I have put you to shame. Now I'm put to shame. Okay, but that's very good. Okay.
Not 2:30 in the morning. That was too much.
Once one of my teachers in Gurukul said, if you wake up after 7 on that day, you don't make any spiritual advancement. So I always wake up before 7. But not 2:30.
Oh, really?
Impossible.
That's a very interesting statement. Yeah. Why is that?
Because they say once you get up too late, your brain works differently. You don't function that well. So they say if you are interested about spiritual life, you have to get up before 7.
Spiritual life or just life? I think it's true for everything.
It's for true.
If you get up late in the day, your day just gets... It's as if someone has put a push button on it, a forward button.
Yeah.
You're rushing.
Yeah.
You're running after your life and your days. While you get up on time and early in the morning, whatever time that is.
Yeah.
Ideally, I do remember my father also is getting 4:30.
Yeah.
And that way you could do a lot in the day.
Yeah. There was a huge survey done on very successful people. And everybody has their own sort of like rituals and everything. But two things was there for everybody. Waking up early and writing a journal. So really successful people, they always do that. Getting up early and they always write down their thoughts.
Do you write your thoughts?
Nah. But I'm not successful, so I'm okay.
You are. You're all right. So Adam, you are doing Ayurveda now.
Yeah.
So your source of life is now...
I do consultations. Yeah. That's my income, yeah.
Yes. So Ayurveda, Vastu Shastra, yoga, astrology.
Yeah. And the books, of course, as well. And I do havans. They also get some dakshin or something. So it's like this. So I'm doing multi-pronged approach to life.
Oh, how wonderful. I think you should do some of my nadi checking.
Okay.
I could have said...
Well, it's afternoon, but nonetheless, I will still do. Let me just... Yeah, definitely have Pitta and Kapha constitution, that's for sure. How do you do with hyperacidity and stuff? Sometimes do you get sensitive, like too much acid in your tummy? You don't. Okay. But you eat spicy?
Yes.
Okay, all right. Then I'm just feeling that. Okay. But you're okay, Lavina. You're okay. But sometimes you have like too much of a fire in you. That's there. Sometimes you're just too intense about stuff, and you have to also be careful with Kapha being just sometimes just slows things down for you. So I'm also Pitta and Kapha in constitution. The difficult thing with us is that we handle anything. We are the toughest of all constitutions. But for us to make changes in our lives happening, it takes eons. Like what Ayurveda says, if you want to do some training, if you're Kapha and Pitta, you'll get used to the training within 3 weeks. If you want to do training, you have to do 6 different kinds of trainings. You're going to have an A week and a B week, and work out 3 different things on the A week and 3 different things on B week. So basically, you're only allowed to do the same training twice a month. Otherwise, our system gets used to it, and it won't work anymore.
So see, what he did just now was learning about my personality from just my pulse. And that's Ayurveda for you. Why is it Ayurveda not yet made a mark in the West? What is required?
It's getting there. It's getting there. I think people, they just can't believe it, that it's so simple to actually live healthy. From 96 to 2021, I was never sick once for 25 years. Then I had COVID. Ever since that, nothing again. They don't believe it can be so simple. But basically, if you understand your own constitution and you know those 3 or 4 things to do for yourself, how you eat, how you move, when you rest, and all this, it's just so easy. And I think people, they just don't believe it. It can be so easy. They try to make it so complicated and everything, but no, it's super easy.
So in today's world, what is it from the Ayurvedic point of view that you could tell them?
Regulation. The best thing is we need to understand how to regulate everything we do. Because if you just do everything, like in the West now, the new agenda is be free and then just be brave and show yourself. Okay, I understand that. That's really cool, but doesn't take you anywhere. If you regulate like cooking, if you just throw things as you please into the pan or just throw things around the kitchen, smear the windows with kashundi, let's say something nice Bengali mustard. It doesn't work. But if you know how to put things in the pot, in what order, how long it takes, before the adrak starts burning, when you have them in hot ghee and everything. If you know how to regulate your systems, you have amazing results. And just to give you a quick example, Ayurveda says if you walk 1,008 steps after your meals, it does something amazing for your health. This is what the shlok says. Now, what we know in the West, if you walk for 10 minutes within 90 minutes of your meal, 35% of the glucose spike will go down. 35% of the carbohydrates will not be so intensely ingested into your system. This is what Ayurveda said all along for 7,000 years. And now we figured this out in 2024. It's so amazing. We know this. Okay, yeah, okay. So and now they're just, and mind you, in Western medicine, like if you go from 1.0 to 1.2, that's like a huge thing. Now we're talking about 35% of the glucose spike will be lower by 35%.
Go on with that
shlok. Just walking.
So say again. So walking 108 steps.
1,008 steps.
1,008 steps.
After meals.
After meals.
And now Western study says, yes, walk within 90 minutes of your meal. So whenever you ended your meal, within 90 minutes of that, you have to walk 10 minutes.
10 minutes.
10 minutes is like, okay.
Yes, I understand. Steps. Absolutely. 1,008 steps.
Yeah.
It always comes to 9, isn't it?
Yeah,
everything.
Because that's... And now Western science says...
Within 90.
The most important muscle in our system, in our metabolic system, is the soleus muscle, is the deep calf muscle. So if you're older and you can't walk 1,008 steps, just get onto your toes, sitting down after your meal. That will do the same thing again.
Really?
Yeah.
So just keep doing up and down.
Just do that for 10 minutes. If you just lean onto your knees just to make it a little harder on you, that's also good. Yeah. And now Western science says if you walk 3 10-minute walk shifts after 3 meals, the effect of that is more intense than walking for 1 hour at any other time of the day.
Yes.
So what Ayurveda says, now we figure it out later on, like a couple thousand years later. But everything is there in Ayurveda. Everything is there in Ayurveda.
So what Western philosophy is saying, medicine is saying today, has all been said.
Yes, for sure. All and more. Because we don't even fathom certain things now in Western medicine where Ayurveda has already been there.
What more has there not been said which we must take away?
You see, Ayurveda is, in one way, it's a very simple thing because there's only 140 diseases. That's it, To understand, basically, there's more than 140 diseases, of course, but they have groups of diseases identified. So Ayurveda, the way it sees is that, okay, if you have these combinations, this will come out of it. And it's so easy to get your head around 140 things to understand. So the simplicity is definitely there. And the other big thing in Ayurveda is that they don't only deal with your physical body. If you follow Ayurvedic things, you'll be emotionally more stable, spiritually more stable, mentally super clear, super focused, intellectually. Ayurvedic massage on the head with coconut oil, it increases the IQ of the person who gets this massage regularly. At the moment in the West, we never knew that you could increase somebody's IQ. I think once you had that, that's done. No, head massage and Shirodhar and all these things, they increase even the IQ of the people who get regularly Ayurvedically treated.
I think the problem is the evidence. The evidence has not been scientifically collected.
Yeah, but now it's happening, and like just the latest thing I read that was done in Germany, cortisol test from saliva. After a single yoga session, the cortisol level of people attending the yoga class were down, like big, like 27%. Just one single yoga session. Their stress hormone was down. So all this over happening to us in our system, all these overworkings, be it stress, be it like hypertension, be it like, anything like that, it's all so easily manageable with Ayurvedic things and with yogic things. So easily manageable.
So in a normal, so let's end before we go to high five by saying, what are the 3 things from the Ayurvedic perspective that we should follow to make our life happy, healthy, and joyful?
There is also an Ayurvedic thing called the 3 pillars of health, ahara, vihara, prahara, and basically how we eat, what sorts of rituals we follow, and how we exercise. If we have these 3 things set up, it's amazing, because exercise, we think it's easy, but no, muscle mass is the most important physical sheath in our life for old age. That's like the dhatu for old age, muscle mass. The better you move around, the healthier you're going to be, always. The stronger your hands are, the easier it is to grab yourself when you start falling. The stronger you are physically, the longer your life will be.
So what could one do?
I would say all ages should do yoga. But as we start getting a little older, you have to start doing some like what Indian wrestlers will do, some strengthening exercises. Because mind you, I was studying yoga from Monotosh Roy as well in Calcutta, who was an amazing teacher, but he was the first Indian man to be a world champion in bodybuilding. He was the first Asian to be a world champion in bodybuilding. And he was, of course, a disciple of Vishnu Charan Ghosh, the younger brother of Paramahamsa Yogananda. So their idea of how to incorporate yoga, with weight training is also amazing.
So, but everyone is going gung-ho about weight training in the gym. And yoga is more seen as something that calms you. So how does weight training happen in yoga? So how would you...
Indian wrestlers will do more weight training. They will do those club exercises, those gadas, exercises, those things are there. But basically, even if you do exercises like squats, or if you do like Chaturanga Dandasana, you can do like strength training even through yoga.
Okay.
So yoga is something that should be there. I think yoga and Ayurveda, the basics of it should be taught to every child in the world. Every child. And it will be so easier for everybody.
The 5 things that you should do to make your life happy.
Wake up early, drink plenty of water, be outside in the open, grounding, so barefoot on soil or on grass, do breathing exercises. And if you could do these 5 things, these 5 things will make immense changes in your life. It will make your life so much better.
And constitution, of course, you find out whether you are Vat, Kapha, and Pitta.
Yeah, but you can go on the internet and have these, questionnaires that you can fill out and you will know. So it's like
it's super
easy to do it nowadays. Yeah, on my website we have a 55-question questionnaire. It's a very thorough one.
Oh,
how
brilliant!
To get it done. Yeah.
How? So for the I'm Kapha and Pitta, you find out.
Yeah.
So what is it that I should not have?
Be careful, pita-wise, you have to be careful with chili because capsaicin, that chemical agent that makes chili very spicy, it's not good for pita people. Eat more ginger, more black pepper, more things like this, kochu, like that. That you can have, mustard oil, you can have, and all these things. So that's that. Be careful with vinegar. Apple cider vinegar is okay. But regular vinegar, it's not good because it's chemically
vinegar.
made. Okay, that's
great.
good. Okay, yeah.
Horrible.
And if you are pita, and try to do some calming breathing exercises and also drink some calming tea, like be it like lavender or
Brilliant.
lemongrass, anything that you fancy. Pudina, nice mint teas, so nice, yeah. And a kappa, we need to get things happening in our system. We need to get things going. So we should eat like intermittent fasting is amazing for us. Like we eat all our meals within a 6-hour gap, and then for 18 hours we don't eat. That's amazing for kappa. For us, it's amazing.
But it's not amazing for other constitutions.
For vata people, it's not good because they usually have the thing where their blood sugar just drops. Or they just get up all of a sudden and their blood pressure drops. For them, it's not good.
So intermittent fasting is not good for everybody.
No. The magic about Ayurveda is that they identify what's good for you and they just train you in that and just do that for you. Because in the West, we always think there is a magical formula. It works for everybody. There's no such thing. There is no magical formulas. There are written down formulas in Ayurveda that's good for everybody, and everybody's constitution has advice from Ayurveda that if you follow, you'll be healthy.
And now, how much do you go back to India?
I take groups of people back to India regularly. Lately, somehow people are more interested in Nepal, so I go tons of time to Nepal. But then we do Tirtha Yatra. We go up to Muktinath, which is a sacred Vedic pilgrimage. So we do Vedic stuff even in Nepal. But lately I've been going to India quite often. I'm going in 6 weeks again. I was there also last year. So I think I can make it like once every 2 years. That's like that. That's nice, yeah.
And you do come back.
Yeah. Well, for the time being, all my kids know once they turn 18,
yes,
I'll spend 6 months every single year in India and 6 months in Europe.
How much of your kids have imbibed what you...
I don't push my kids because I've seen some bad examples of kids being over-pushed about their parents' agenda, and then they're being outright inimical to that because it's just too much for... I don't push them, but the evening stories are always from Mahabharata and Ramayana and everything, I have a huge altar at home because I'm a bit of a collector. So it's like, I have these 2-meter long altar. Of course, Radha Krishna and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is the main figure. But I have a deity made of sandalwood of Gopal Krishna, Madan Gopal. I have the deity since 1978. I've been having the deity with me for almost 50 years now.
Oh, how amazing. How amazing.
3 more years, then it's 50 years, yeah. So my kids know, and like my sons, when they go out in the garden in the springtime and new vegetables are coming and new fruits, they always take the first and they offer it to Krishna on the altar. They know that. Then they will start munching and everything, but the first one always goes for the Lord. So just rush in and put it up on the altar and then just rush out and start stuffing their face.
So do you, and in terms of cooking?
Fortunately, in Gurukul, we used to do our cooking ourselves. So 1 week you're on cleaning service, then for 1 week you're on cooking service. So for the 10 years I was there, so I cooked for 5 years. So it's like, so I wouldn't say I'm a good cook, but I'm a very experienced cook. I do everything super quick and super efficient. And we eat tons of Indian cooking. Of course, I'm a Bengali at heart. So I use tons of mustard oil. But my kids, like one of their favorites is bati chachari. It's just cauliflowers, potatoes, tons of mustard oil, some chili, salt, and haldi. That's it. Nothing else.
Have you written a cooking book?
Not yet.
Hungarian, writing a Bengali cuisine. What is your favorite?
Ooh, I'll have to go with bitter ones. So Karela will be definitely my favorite one. Shukta, yeah.
Shukta?
Karela, green banana, green papaya, shukta. That's definitely, hands down. And my favorite vegetable is parwal, potol.
Potol. He's saying potol. I still am trying to get my head around
That's my favorite, all-time favorite.
potol. Fabulous. Of your years of going to India, what is it that you've seen that's different, that's changed, and how do you describe India to, let's say, a person who doesn't know?
What's really amazing, this realization came to me like 20 years after being in India. Why India is so wonderful is that everybody does the needful. So why people are so intense in getting up like on a train or on a metro, because if you don't do it like that, you don't get up on the train. But if they have to sit around and wait for a train that's delayed for 5 hours, they'll sit around, talk, and they offer you nice tea from their own thermoses. So people just always do the needful, and in the meantime, they always maintain their very nice and cultured manners. So this is what I'm really missing from India, that you could sit down and talk with anybody for hours. You could become the best of friends with anybody on your first meet. It will just take a couple of hours, You start eating at their house. They'll be invited over to your place. You start knowing their kids and everything. We are so more withdrawn in the West. We don't do that. Indian people are so warm-hearted, That's what I really miss, Here everybody's super, we say that in Hungarian, that everybody's super orderly, it's like super clean cut, In India, everybody's super friendly,
Chill.
Yeah.
We are late, it's okay.
Yeah, it's okay,
Ho jayega.
yeah. Once we are just returning from Vrindavan, we were on Tirtha Yatra with 3 kids. A guy from Peru, a guy from Australia, and a guy from Hungary. And by the time we crossed Hulargat to Mayapur from Navadvip, we had 2 rupees left, the 3 of us. We're out. And the rickshaw driver is asking, you want me to take you to the Angreji Mat, to ISKCON? He said, we don't have money. He said, no, you don't have money, any money? No, we have 2 rupees. It was late in the evening. He said, I'll take you for 2 rupees. But it was 3 of us. It was a long drive, but he took us for 2 rupees.
Wow.
Yeah, so you don't have that thing in Europe, Maybe Italians do that, Greeks do that, yeah. They do, yeah.
Little bit.
Easterners, yeah, and Southerners. But I love how Indian people are just so cool about stuff. Okay, I can help you out now this time. Okay, all right, I'll do it.
What do you feel like? Who are you now?
You see, the thing is that like when I self-identify, I always identify with Vedic things, So I identify towards the people. I'm somebody who is expert at Vedic stuff, but I do my things in the service of Vedic culture. To my kids, I'm their dad, but I'm like a Vedic dad, I'm like, so I teach them stuff, and we talk about spiritual things, and then how I cook for them and everything. So basically, I do my different dharmas. I'm a teacher, I'm a parent, and all this. But at the same time, I'm connected to all the different positions through my Vedic understanding of how that thing should be done, how that thing should be carried out. So that's my self-identification. Somebody who is working in the service of Vedic culture. Yeah, that's something. Yeah.
Someone who's working in the service of the Vedic culture.
Yeah.
Okay.
Super simple.
It's super simple.
Super simple.
Well, it's not very wonderful. So on that note, I'm going to ask you 5 high five questions, and then your reward will be a high five from me.
Okay, good.
How's that? How big? Yay, excited?
I'm super excited.
What is the one thing from India that the Western world should imbibe?
The kindness and the acceptance towards others.
What is India for you in one word?
Love.
Oh. How wonderful. If you were to go back in history, who's the one person you would like to meet, and what would you ask?
Bhaktivinoda Thakur, Kedarnath Datta. He was living in the early 1800s and passed away in 1914. I don't know what I'll ask him, but it would be just so wonderful to ask him anything.
Well, one thing I forgot to mention really is that you're an astrologer and you're known for that. Huh? Yeah. How do you explain astrology to a Western person?
You can know about your karma. You can know about your future, so you are better prepared just by understanding astrology. It's a help. That's it. Astrology is a Vedic help how to live a better life.
If someone wants to start learning and studying about Hinduism, so what is the one text or what should they read, study?
Start with Bhagavad Gita. I would say that that's pretty good, because Krishna presents so many different schools of yoga. There is Sankhya Yoga, there is Karma Yoga, there is Jnana Yoga, Dhyana Yoga, Bhakti Yoga, everything explained there.
What lens do you want to give to the Western world to be able to understand India better?
I would say if you just go out in the village and see how people live to this day, how they live in accordance with nature. They wake up early, they eat fresh, they cook fresh, they use cow dung paddies to this day. Something gets picked off the plant and it's in the pot within 15 minutes and everything. And they do this, and this is not convenient. What's convenient is going into the store, buying it, it's pre-peeled, clean, cut, that's convenient. But you lose all those flavors, all those nice energies, Just see how village people in India live their life and try to learn from that.
My very last one, and I know I've done a lot of extra. What is the one thing you miss the most about India?
The lifestyle of it's easy to wake up early. It's easy to eat good food. You can eat good food at the masala muri vendor, because he will have muri and boiled potatoes and some chickpeas and some coconut and mustard oil and, soaked this, soaked that, and grated coconut. I mean, you can eat good, healthy food from a vendor on a train ride going in.
I know, I missed that. And muri. Why did you bring muri? I love jhal muri.
Jhal muri.
I love
You
jhal
see,
muri.
these are the things I miss. You started it. You said, what are you missing?
Your favorite dish? Come on, quick.
Portal sabji.
Potol.
Parwal, potol.
Potol.
Yeah.
Potol I can drop, but jhal muri, come on.
Jhal muri,
let's do
okay. Quick, fast food, jhal muri. That's my favorite.
Yeah, getting that fresh food on the train. I missed that train.
Or you just stop by a vendor who has this tiny gas stove and he's making pav bhaji. Nothing extra, just pav bhaji, but he makes amazing pav bhaji.
Okay, on that note, thank you. I think I'll have to let you go. I can keep you here forever. But thank you very much, Adam. I have learned so much from you. I now know I'm kapha and pitta. And I should not be eating as much spice. But I love spice.
But you can replace it with lesser intense stuff. Yeah.
Less intense stuff. Okay, I'll try that. But anyway, this is absolutely mine of gold. I think I would like to come back and do more
with you. It was super nice having, me here.
I'm going to wind this up, but I want you to end up with a shlok after I wind this up. So thank you ever so much for joining India, A Story in the Making. As they say, please do keep your feedback coming and do follow us and just, if you can, subscribe. That'll be great. It helps us come and bring you such wonderful stories like Adam. So thank you. Take care and God bless. And over to Adam.
Harihi Om. Tad Vishno Paramam Paradam Sada Pashyanti Suryaha Diviva Chakshuratatam Tad Vipraso Vipanyavo Jagruvagam Sasamindate Vishnoryat Paramam Padam Om Shantish Shantish Shantihi.
What does it mean quickly?
Great seers see the supreme abode of the Supreme Lord Vishnu the way how we can see the sunlight through the clouds.
Let there be peace.